Meeting by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we are gathered and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to the City Infrastructure Committee meeting of 14th of June. I declare this meeting open at 10:25 a.m. I'd like to advise attendees in the room that this meeting is being webcasted and audio recorded. We have one leave of absence from Councillor Bannon. Everyone else is here, so there's no other need for that. Can I have a mover to accept Councillor Bannon's leave of absence? Councillor Stamp and Councillor Wilcox. Pardon? That's okay. All those in favour, raise your hand. That's carried unanimously. We're going to go a bit slower today. We don't have a lot of business because in the City Infrastructure Committee we complete the work before we do the reports because we're good. But we do have a learner driver in the seat today in Ashley, so please be patient as we go a bit slower through some things. Now, we have no reports.
I have no reports, Madam Chair.
What a director, what a director. Okay, so there have been no reports submitted to the City Infrastructure Committee meeting. Does anyone have any general business for any of the branches? Councillor Bradley, followed by Councillor Stamp. Councillor Bradley.
Thank you, through the Chair. Through the Director, there's an outstanding report in relation to the roundabout at the intersection of Magellan and Chatswood Roads. I'm just wondering, with the meeting we had yesterday, which I can't talk about really publicly, is there an opportunity for that report to come forward now?
Council, I'll look into that. Obviously, any impact from main roads works will be considered. So I'll look into whether we can actually bring a report that has any useful information forward.
It was a general business item that a recommendation that I asked for a report on that intersection, and that was in 2020, from memory.
Thanks for that. Councillor Stamp.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just through you, I just wanted to pass on a letter of appreciation that I received from the Secretary of the MG Club for the 2022 Queensland Hill Climb Championships, which was on the 5th of June. The road that goes into that event was actually needed grading desperately, and I have to say, Council did an incredible job. It was beautiful, as roads can be, and they were just so thankful. I got a lot of comments on the day, and I even got a letter of appreciation. So I just want to say thank you so much for your team. I know how busy they've been, but it was just much appreciated that they were able to make time to get that done for them.
Thank you, Councillor, and I'll pass that on to our road construction maintenance area.
Thanks very much. Councillor Raven.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And at the outset, I would like to apologise to Ashley because she's going to have to do a little bit of work while I talk. So I'll turn it into some waffle.
He is mean.
Yeah, but it's good practice. It's good practice and we won't rush, so it's nice and easy. Mr Director, quite some time ago, myself, Councillor Lane and Councillor Kransky began investigating what it would cost to have some additional flood cameras installed. In light of the recent floods, particularly around the Bega Road crossing of Scrubby Creek on Kingston Road and the Waterford Bridge and nearby crossings underneath and nearby the Waterford Bridge that often flood. In light of the recent floods, we thought it would be a good opportunity to dig back in and see where that went. So we've got some costings, and I believe that the staff are happy to have them supported as local infrastructure projects, but there is a problem that they don't have ongoing funding for the maintenance of these projects. So I'd like, and I understand that we would need to consider that either through a budget amendment or through a service enhancement next budget round. So I'd like to put forward a general business item that the Director of Roads and Water Infrastructure bring a report to a future City Infrastructure Committee for the consideration of additional flood watch camera maintenance funding to be referred to the future budgets register.
That's a lovely sounding motion. Could you forward it by email next time if that's okay, just to save the officers a little bit? Are you speaking any further on that, Councillor Raven?
No, I'd just like to move the motion. Happy for councillors to ask questions.
Councillor Karansky?
I recognise in the past we've had similar circumstances come up where councillors have wanted to promote certain projects in their electorates. A similar one would be the wildlife signage, which was the WASSAS signage, and putting those signs in is great, but then we run into that problem of ongoing maintenance and infrastructure. So I think this is one of those processes where we see something new, we love it and it's effective, but then how are we going to fund that ongoing maintenance? So I just wanted to say that part of the feedback I provided to the director and the team from the floods was the number of residents who greatly valued the flood footage that they were able to actually hook into. So I wholeheartedly support this initiative, and I appreciate it's outside of budget cycle just at the moment, but any investigation that you can do would be greatly appreciated, and in the fullness of time I certainly would be looking to fund some of these if I can through the LIP budget.
Thank you, Councillor, and thank you, Councillor Raven. We actually have some funding available at the moment through one of the grants that is to help develop resilience in the community, and one of the projects which we listed was some improvements in our flood camera locations. We have to be a little bit strategic in that because, as you say, the ongoing maintenance will have to be built into the budget in the future budget cycles. So I'm happy to talk to you offline if you've got some of those recommendations. They are about 30,000 a pop because a lot of them don't have power, and so we have to create solar power facilities. The other challenge we have is that our disaster dashboard isn't capable of actually holding too many more video links to these cameras, so we're going to have to do an upgrade of our disaster dashboard, which we're also proposing to do at the moment. We've listed about 6 locations, I think, where we've sort of had requests in the past, these major streets that get blocked during periods like Paradise Road, for example, down here near IKEA, major furrow through that actually, when it goes under, creates real headaches for us. So we will be looking at that in the next 6 to 24 months. So happy to talk to any councillors if they've got any particular strategic locations where it has major impact.
Thanks for that. I've got Councillor Bradley with a comment. I'll go to her and then I'll have a crack.
Thank you. Couldn't, in consideration, Ford Road, where we lost half the road in the last major flood, and Priestdale Road as well, because obviously that's between 3 council areas, so it is a bit of a thoroughfare too. Thank you.
Councillor Karansky, you wanted to add?
I just wanted to say that I'm happy to support the recommendation on the board and second that.
Thanks very much. I'd just like to say for the 55 residents of Mary Street, the residents of Brutus and Caesar Street, the opportunity to have a camera at on Kingston Road at Slacks Creek, at Scrubby Creek, would be an amazing peace of mind for them. They had not one lot of water come up through their properties, they had 2. So watching those floodwaters come up and sitting there over night time and wondering what's going on and being able to see that live on our dashboard would be a big peace of mind for them. So thank you very much for the consideration. We've got a motion on the board. Councillor Raven has moved the motion. Councillor Karansky has seconded it. Can I please see a show of hands? That's been carried unanimously. You got it? Okay, so no one else has any general business for the director? None of the managers? I declare the City Infrastructure meeting closed at 10:34 a.m. Thank you very much for your attendance.